We'll get started with 3 Oms and Sahana Vavatu. And we'll do Samasta Jana Kalyane today as well. Take a deep breath in. Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidmaram. Gently open your eyes. Okay. Happy Navaratri to everybody. Thank you. I hope it's more of the joy of celebrating Devi than anything else, any of the other stressors or preoccupations we may have. I grew up golu hopping with my mom, and I didn't do Carnatic singing, I chose dance. So they would always ask me to sing, and I'd say, no, I can't sing, sorry. But other of my friends were there to be the bali for all these golus. And I know Garba is coming up. Everything that we do, all of our customs have a meaning behind them. There's a purpose, and that purpose is always tied back to thinking of Devi Ma. So let's remember that as we go through all of the, all the take-home gifts that people give us, and all the dresses we go shopping for, and all the sweets that we eat. We'll always bring it back to Bhagwan, Bhagavati. So we'll get started today, Sadhana Panchakam. I didn't get any questions about last week, which means that nobody listened to it or it was clear. So I'm grateful for that. I won't review too much, just the last 10 minutes because we started a new topic. But if you still have questions, please let me know, because if you have it, others may have it too. They might just be, a little shy to ask. So we'll chant together. If you have the book, you can open to the first verse. Sadhana Panchakam. Vedo nityamadhiyatam taduditam karmasvanushthiyatam teneshasya vidhiyatam apachitihi kamye matistyajyatam papo gah paridhuyatam bhavasukhe dosho nusandhiyatam atmecha vyavasiyatam nijagrahat turnam vinirgamyatam atmecha vyavasiyatam nijagrahat turnam vinirgamyatam. So we went over each of the words in the first line. Only the first line, because each word, as you saw, was so packed with information, and we need to be specific in how we understand each word. So Vedo, Vedaha becomes Vedo. So Veda, what is this Veda? Can it be anything we hear or read or our neighbor tells us? It has to be that which is a revelation, that which has come from Bhagavan. So you have the Upanishads, you have the Srimad Bhagavad Gita, you have of course, the granthas or the books, texts written from parampara. So the guru comes, but the guru is not Bhagavan. Well, look at the parampara. Some say it starts from Maheshwar, Adi Maheshwara, so Shivji. Some say Mahavishnu. Either way, it comes from Bhagavan. So that's considered as Veda. And it can only be things or texts, scriptures that speak about the truth. Even if it's a Bhakti Grantha, right? Even if it's about Bhagavan Krishna's life, like the Bhagavata Purana, the essence of the Srimad Bhagavatam is the truth. And you find that, I told you, in the Mangalacharanam, or the first blessing verse. So, it has to speak about the truth. Now, we have so many different Vedas. We have Ayurveda, Dharurveda, right? We have different kind of Vedas. Are those also considered Veda? Yes, they're Upavedas. So what is Ayurveda? It teaches you about health, right? Then you have Dhanurvidya, so weapon, how to do weapons. You have, I'm drawing a blank, but you have a Vidya about Vimana, right? How planes are built and all of these things. You have, I think it's like Vaimanika Sutra or something. I might be making that up, so don't quote me. But there is a text about how planes and things are built. Of course, they weren't known as planes back then. They have their names. So these all seem secular. How is that considered Vedas? And I don't know how many of you have heard of Ramanuja, the mathematician. Right? Many theories he himself has stated came in a dream because of Amma's, Devi's blessings. And these theories he had, you can say, oh, maybe he studied it and the dreams did the work for him. Whatever you want to believe, you believe. But he stated that these are revelations given to him as a blessing of Amma. And later on, even today, people are struggling to figure out how these theorems work. So the reason I brought his example is, even if you're looking at mathematics or science or cooking or food, right? We may think it's secular, but the beauty of Vedas is they are all aware that your ultimate destination is the truth and moksha. So there's a vision in it. You have keto, you have vegetarian, you have vegan. Everybody has different reasons for following that, a different rhyme, right? But anything that you follow from our scriptures takes you to the truth, which is why it's important to stick to the scriptures. What if we have questions about the scriptures? Believe it or not, so many of our Upanishads, even the Srimad Bhagavad Gita, is a question answer. Because questions come to the human mind and intellect. It's natural. That's how we were built. So because the questions come, the answers are also there given by Bhagavan himself. In fact, if you look at Srimad Bhagavatam, you have like meta, right? You have two people, a narrator and a listener. And then that narrator says, oh, great question. Somebody asked this question so many years ago, and they start. And then you have another. It goes in and in and in. And to the point that you get 3-4 narrators talking to like an entire crowd. So questions are natural. Questions come. Conflicts happen mentally, intellectually, just like today. Conflicts happen. Should I not? And in the scriptures they are addressed. You would be surprised. If you don't find your answer in the Upanishads, look at the commentaries by, other gurus in the parampara. And then if that doesn't satisfy you, look at other commentaries in the parampara. You'll be surprised how many commentaries there are. You'll get lost in the commentaries. You won't go back to the text. So if there are questions, it's good to have questions, because only when we question, that means we're listening, right? As long as we're not being facetious, as we're being respectful and we're questioning to understand, that means I'm trying to live my life this way and I'm struggling. There's a dissonance happening. Therefore, help me figure this out. That's the approach that will lead us to conviction and growth. So, Vedas, questions and answers in the Vedas, stick to the systematic approach of study. Everybody can write a blog. I can write a blog, you can write a blog. Somebody's dogs write blogs, cats write blogs, right? I've seen Instagram pages of dogs and cats. Obviously, it's not them. So anybody can write anything on the internet these days. So we have to be clear about what Vedas are. Next, Nityam. Nitya could be all the time. People's names are also Nitya. I'm like, Nitya what? What are we talking about? But Nitya means all the time. In this context, we said daily, every day. So, Vedo Nityam Adhiyatam, study. We talked about the 4 ashramas towards the end of class. What are they? Brahmacharya, Grahastha. He's like, I'm in it. I got it. I know me. I'm in Grahastha. And then Sannyasa. We're skipping one. Yes. Vanaprastha. Yes. Nobody wants to be that age. I think that's why we skip it. It's like sannyasis are happy because they have no trouble. Grahastha, I'm suffering now. Brahmacharya, I went through. Vanastha, what is there? So 4 ashramas. And the Sadhana Panchakam also has another name. It's called Sopana Panchakam. Sopana means steps. If you look at the first few verses, it's brahmacharya oriented. Right? I shouldn't say do we, I should say when are we expected only to study and not worry about anything else? Brahmacharya ashrama. Whether we do that or not, I don't know. Brahmacharya ashrama vedo nityam adhiyatam. Don't worry about anything else. Just study. And some of us are lucky to have that opportunity. Some of us have other responsibilities, and unfortunately, it's not possible. But that's why I gave a couple of, tips and said, okay, maybe we can't do Vedo Nityam Adhiyatam at that time. How about today? What is Veda? 1 verse of Bhagavad Gita. Right? We can't even do that. That's when the next line comes in. But there's ways you can customize this to follow through. Right? We can't say, oh, so this first verse is not for me. It's only brahmacharyans. Let's just skip it. There's no brahmacharyans in the room. No. Because we didn't, we're trying to catch up. Right? In the Vedanta course, our teacher, our Acharya, would always say we did a backdoor entry. Right? Because I didn't do any intense study before I got admitted to the Vedanta course. I had intense desire to study. And I could leave what I was doing for 2 years, right? But did I grow up in a Gurukula system? No, probably the opposite. I grew up in America, in the public school system. So all of us, I think, are doing some kind of backdoor entry. It's Kali Yuga. It's the only way. At least we're doing that, right? Give us some credit, right? So, 4 ashramas, first few lines, brahmacharya ashrama is the focus, but we can take these tips for us too. Vedo nityam adhiyatam. Taduditam, not what the neighbors say or my, the oldest person in my family says or, some tips that I saw in reels, not that. What is given in the Vedas, do that as your karma. Taduditam karma swanushthiyatam. Perform it. Do those duties. Karma we've seen in many contexts, and I gave you a kind of a technical terms last week. So we say, ayo, nan karma, right? Kannada people, nan karma, na karma. It's always a negative thing. I think in other places they say, no words. You just do this. You have that signal. What is that? Oh, this is written on my forehead. What? That I'm going to be a loser my whole life. So I behave like a loser my whole life. What? We see karma in such a skewed context, right? But really, karma siddhanta is very precise and technical. There are specific types of karma and specific types of karma that we engage in. So the three general umbrella types of karma we talked about last week, the bank analogy, right? Sanchita, there's a collection of karmas that we've gathered over many births. Then that withdrawal we make just for this janma, prarabdha. That's usually what's, sometimes our teachers would always say, it's my prarabdha to have students like you. And students would say, our prarabdha to have teacher like you. No, you shouldn't say that. But that's also given some kind of negative thing, but that's not the case. Prarabdha has punya and papa phala. That is why we are born in the human birth. So there's not a single human that has only papa karma or only punya karma. Now, if somebody believes they have only papa karma, something needs to change in mindset. Because technically that can't be true. That's the law. It can't be true. Law of karma, I mean. And if somebody has only punya karma, nothing bad has happened to me in my life. I'm always happy. That's also their mindset, right? You think about it, there's so many these TED Talks and all about grit, right? And how do you overcome? There are people that grow up in the direst of circumstances. And they grow, and they're happy, and they survive. Nobody's being oppressed. They're fine. And there's other people like, oh, how are they able to do this? That's so great. They're like, why are you? Right? You poor thing. They say somebody, I hear this story often, right? There's someone with nothing and a sound mind. They sleep under the stars, right? They have nothing to worry about. You can always dig holes in this example. It's just a story. Nothing to worry about. They're sleeping fine. They wake up. They do their daily thing. Go to the river. Take a nice bath at the river. Take prasadam, nice hot pongal at the temple. And temple, that's a whole other topic, temple prasadam. But they find their way, you know. If food comes, it comes. If it doesn't, it doesn't. They're fine. Same person, get married, has kids. Now they have a house. They have to buy a security system. Because, you know, house, security system is required. Then you have, you know, gold, this, that, put it in a locker, only take it out during festivals. But I saw in the news that they follow you home when you take stuff out of the, you know, yeah, so maybe not. Just do covering for everything. Keep it in the, it's just an investment, right? Don't wear it. And then, you know, then you have kids and you have to, you know, keep the kids safe. And then are they still on the phone? It's 11 o'clock. I need to go check that. What is that sound? Is that the refrigerator or the toilet? Because if it's a toilet, oh, I got to call the plumber. You can go into a spiral, right? Why? You gather more things. There's so many things to think about, so many things to worry about. Whereas the one with nothing, single, I'll eat. Your friend is calling me for dinner, let's go. Where do you want to eat? Doesn't matter. You pick the spot. Now if somebody calls you for dinner, let me check with my spouse, my partner. What classes do the kids have? I don't know. Then I have to come home and cook also. Might as well cook and eat at home. So, one person can think the other person, oh, poor thing. Other person can think, poor thing. That's not the case. That was the point of this story. Right? So nobody is poor this, poor that. Prarabdha karma is there for everyone. Punya and papa is there for everyone. How we choose to live life, whether we think, Swatiji, you're wrong. I am the most miserable person in the room, let me tell you. Right? Whether we want to see ourselves as that or I'm not coming to your class because I'm the happiest person. I don't need this. However we see, so much of it is in the mind. But prarabdha technically is there for all. So, sanchita, prarabdha, finally, agami, that which is to come. So, that is the result of everything that I do in this janma. Then I finished with the question, so is this it? We go in circles. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani, jatare shayanam. Bhajagovindam. The next line. Iha samsare bahudustare, kripaya pare, pahi murare. Am I just supposed to keep going in these circles of birth and death and birth and death? Is this it? Is this life? Then the last line. I just need to take refuge in Bhagavan. Kripaya pare, give me that compassion. Pahi, protect me, pahi, murare. Bhagavan Krishna. So, what are we doing here? How do we understand karma to make it work for us? Instead of being, there's this analogy used in a lot of shastras about a kita, a bug, being stuck in a puddle right after rains. Have you seen? There's so much to learn from the world. Have you seen little bugs getting stuck in water after a storm? They're struggling and struggling and struggling. They can't get out. They're stuck there because the water is cohesive. They're trying to get out. They don't know which direction. That's how we are, jivas. And while we were at the Vedanta course, we would study about these examples. And then after lunch or dinner, we'd go walking with our acharya. And he'd say, remember in class, we talked about, look, that's you. Right? That's you. Right now. And it would hurt. Right? I mean, right now you're like, stop, this is getting too intense. It hurts. But it's the truth. And it doesn't need to make us depressed. It can make us grateful also. At least now I'm aware of that. Because what's worse is when we're ignorant of it. To them, it might not feel worse. So I love to engage with high schoolers when I was teaching in Austin. And they're like, Swatiji, I'm fine with life. I have prom coming up, debate, first place, second place, I know I'm going to get there, whatever. And I already finished my SATs, my scores are fine. Like, everything's fine. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. So in your world, everything's good. I'm happy to hear. How's everything going at home? Let me tell you about my mom. She will not let me da-da-da-da. My brother thinks that da-da-da, he's older than me. He thinks I should go to this college, but I really want to go here. All my friends are going here. You look at that from an adult perspective. Sometimes you can get dragged in. They are so dramatic and convincing. I'm like, oh, really? What did that Lisa tell Jessica? Right? Like, you can get involved in this. It can get serious. But you take a step back and you're like, this is also a phrase that I love. It's called Pashya Samsara Natakam. And it's given in a lot of scriptures. Pashya, watch, samsara, coming and going. Natakam, drama. We love that. Unfortunately, we binge watch Netflix dramas. There's drama in our own lives that we can't laugh at, right? Unfortunately, we can't laugh at that because it's too close to home. That little world, for them, they feel yes, no. You know, my life is fine. But even then, in that little world, there can be some kind of distraction, something negative happening, some relationship not working, right? So we just have to look hard enough and listen long enough. And the goal is to laugh through it. Because we don't want anyone to laugh at us. We get that, right? That's why if we learn to laugh at ourselves, it's easier if somebody else laughs at us. So, karma, coming back, you have sanchita, prarabdha, agami, what is to come. How do I make this karma work for me where I am? So, just like there's these 3 sets of karma, nitya karma. Karma you're supposed to do every day. Naimittika karma. Karma that is special, like Navratri special, Diwali special, all these things, right? Special karmas you do. Then you have karma, kamya karma. Karma I do for the sake of desire. So nitya karma doesn't give us problems. I need to brush my teeth, chalo, brush my teeth. If you don't, that might be a problem. But nitya karma is usually not a problem, right? If we do it, it's good for us. If we don't do it, you don't do it. That's just unfortunate, but true. Even naimittika karma. Some people for 9 days, they do puja and abhisheka. Some people just listen to stotram. Some people don't take a bath. Whatever, right? There's special, things that you have to do. If you don't do it, it's your loss, basically. That's it. But this kamya karma is where things get tricky. I do things because I desire to do them. So that is where I either strengthen or loosen the grip of these karmas on me. They're called vasanas. Vasana is also known as fragrance in some languages. Here it's not strictly fragrance, but it's tendency. Which tendencies am I enhancing? Which am I loosening? So, what is my kamya karma? Does my kamya karma harm other people? Does it harm me? This is where we need to put a magnifying glass. Forget the nitya karma we can, keep in mind and do. Naimittika also. But this kamya karma, we have to be so vigilant. Because desire is what drives birth. Honestly, that's the root of it. See, this pen is here. You see the pen. She's playing with the pen, it's distracting, she should put it down, whatever. All of those, it's side, it's fine. That's a nice pen. You're still observing. That's a nice pen. That pen would look nicer in my hands. I want that pen. I need to have that pen. After class, she's taking care of her purse and stuff. She won't pay attention. I'll take that pen. Right? It's just a pen, but the mind moving. This can happen to anything. Man, if you've seen the Devi Alankarams for Navaratri, gorgeous, gorgeous. Amma looks so divine, and that too different, you have Annapurna Devi, they're all vegetables, and you have Lakshmi Devi, it's all gold is shimmering. You have Mahakali, the Raudra, that anger is there. Amazing, right? Those who have that skill to do, grateful that they're showing us, right? Darshana is enough. I look, Amma, you look amazing today. You look like Jagannatha. Amma, that necklace is so nice. Is that real gold? No. The temple? No, you wouldn't put real gold. Security problems, no. But even so, and the matching earrings. I think I saw that at this Kalyan Jewelers or GRT, whatever. That's all I know. I don't know anything else. You think they sell smaller size? I mean, I can also wear big size. No problem. That's it. Paranchikani Vatirana Swayambhu. We're looking outwards. We're looking at Devi, even in that outwards, and suddenly it becomes a search for something else. It becomes this material, this desire, this I want. I is not the problem, usually, unless we're talking ego. But for now, I is not the problem. It's the I want. That's the problem. So then you say, I just shouldn't ask for anything. I should not have expectations. I can't expect my child to be a nice human being. I can't expect my spouse to be a decent person. Say thank you once in a while. I can't expect everybody on the road to just drive like a normal person instead of a crazy person because I'm late to class. I shouldn't have basic expectations. Nobody's saying no. But we just need to observe what's happening in our mind. Are those expectations causing any kind of distress for us? It is very difficult to practice, right? To have reasonable expectations, but not be dragged down by those expectations to the point that if those expectations are not met, I am in shambles. So tough. Every morning, I have such a kind, spouse. He makes sure that the car has gas or charged. Every morning, I have no problem getting to work because it happens. One morning, it doesn't happen. Oh, but he forgot. It's okay. Next morning. How dare you not charge the car? How dare you not put gas in the car? You know I go to work Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. And I have so many things I have to do before I leave the house, unlike you. That's when it starts messing with us, our peace of mind. So, again, nitya karma, naimittika karma, kamya karma, nisheda karma. This is stuff you know you shouldn't do that you do. See, even there where it's like, I know this is wrong, but I'm going to do it. Right? So there's not, how much work can you put into something when you're that adamant? Arjuna asked Krishna, okay, it's not just me, I'm not a weirdo. He said, Krishna, I don't want to do it, but I do it. I want to do it, but I can't. You are doing this, Krishna, you did this to me. Even Arjuna asked Krishna, same question, it's not just me. This requires us to tune the mind. The mind needs to know what to do in what situation. So now we go to the next line. Tene shasya vidhiyatam apachitihi kamye matis tyajyatam. Beautifully. This is scriptures for you. They just take you to the next step. You don't need to think. What does this mean? Dedicate all those actions, karma, that you do. What karma? Not random karma. The karma that you do according to the Veda. All of that needs to be dedicated to the worship of the Lord. Tena ishasya, Isha, Bhagavan. Worship of the Lord. How? All I'm doing is brushing my teeth. Rama, 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 Rama. Instead of... we're all guilty of that, right? Everything. See, just because, Swatiji, you don't like to cook, you don't like to eat, you say we shouldn't do big naivedyams and all that. I love to cook and I love to eat. What's wrong with doing 10 items for naivedyam, 15 items for Navaratri? We're going to enjoy. Enjoy. Invite me. I'll also eat. I don't like to cook either. Well, I don't like to cook, period. But what is the key? Even in that cooking, whether you patram pushpam palam toyam we saw last week, whether you do a leaf, a flower, water, whatever, with love to Bhagavan. So even if you're making this huge, what is that, chapan bhog kind of, one day I'll go to Jaipur and have that. Anyway, even if you're doing that, offer it to Bhagavan first. I used to have such a tough time with that because I'd eat and then remember, always. After the first bite, I'd be like, oh, I forgot to do prayers. And I was like, you know what, at least I remembered now. Eventually it got earlier. And then while I'm cooking itself, I'll do it. Because you forget. The food is in front of you, you forget. Another beautiful thing is the 15th chapter. The Vedanta course, before we eat lunch, dinner, we have to chant the 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Luckily, it's just 20 verses. And you know who started the verse or the chanting by how fast you're going, right? So If it's going really fast, that means there's some really hungry, usually us, brahmacharinis were the ones who did it. We would come in, and I am guilty of it, be like, Om Shri Paramatmani Adi Panchakam Shiva Mulvada Shaka Vashatam Pravarayam. Thoda bite. And you just get your food and you want to eat because you're so hungry. And you'd be surprised you can get it done how fast. Then you had some brahmacharis coming in. Om Shri Paramatmane Namaha. And it would make you so angry. First thing in the morning, you're so hungry. And that's after 2 classes. Okay, 7 a.m. is after 2 classes. That's one way to remember to chant. Right? Or your kids are upstairs. By the time they come downstairs, they have to chant. We tried that for some time. Right? Or you just say Brahmarpanam. Right? Or the food is going into the mouth, Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Make it a game. Right? Om Shri Paramatmane Namaha. Say something. Right? That small effort, that dedication doesn't need to take up your whole life. Eventually it will, because these small things add up. In the Bhagavad Gita it said, the smallest act or intention, it doesn't go forgotten. It adds to your karma and punya karma, right? So all of these actions, dedicate them to Bhagavan. How? Any way, in each and everything that we do. Pati Parameshwar, I can't do that. Or what does it say? Sati Savitri? What is it? Sati Savitri, right? Pati Parameshwar, Sati Savitri. Neither are true. I can't see Bhagavan in my husband or my Devi in my wife. Sometimes I see Devi in my wife when she's angry. Yeah, I see Raudra in my husband. I see Shiva Tandava in my husband when he's angry. Yes. Anything. And I'm telling you, I have to practice too, right? And we have to laugh at it. We have to get our minds out of that zone. And we know what zone that is. Where we say, Are, even Bhagavan, I don't want to talk to Bhagavan. That's the worst. when we're mad at Bhagavan himself. But before it gets that way, can we laugh at our present situation? Next time, try that. Somebody's making you angry, that's Shiva Tandava. Don't say it out loud, please. Or Aigiri Nandini, that would be like a signal for us. My mom's angry. It's Aigiri Nandini Nandina Vedini Vishwa Vinodini. Devi is Vishwarupa. We all feel anger. See, God isn't only to be seen in the most beautiful, peaceful times. God is seen in everything, in anger, in jealousy, in love, in everything. And trust me, when we start doing that, that will transform. Can we stay angry? If our mind slowly changes, we can't. Sometimes you wish, I wish I could be angry. This is a place I need to be righteously angry, but I just don't feel it. Why not? Okay, let it go. I'm sure the anger will come back at some point, or something will irritate us. So, that karma that we do, nitya, naimittika, everything, please have that be dedicated to Bhagavan. How? In every which way, whether it's Naivedyam for Bhagavan, whether it's just saying Bhagavan's name before we do something, that is how we get out of this cycle. In Srimad Bhagavad Gita 4:27, I think. I thought I put a note in there. Sorry, 247. Let me look for it. It is the very famous Shloka, Karmanyevadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phala heturbuhu ma te sangostva karmani. This is clear distinction. You have karma, generally action, and you'll have all these different kinds of karma, right? Then you have karma yoga. It's not doing yoga while holding a sign that says karma or wearing a t-shirt that says karma. Karma yoga is what this verse is referring to. Karmanyevadikaraste. You have to act. Even the smallest bug and the biggest of elephants must act. We can't escape karma. What if I just sit there? You're breathing. What if I just sit there when everyone around me is angry? They're angry at you more, right? Like, even if you sit there doing nothing, there is something happening around you. And you are reacting to that. You are influencing that. Maybe at mind level, right? Maybe at physical level. Maybe at voice, words, right? Verbal level. So, karmanyevadikaraste, you must act. Arjuna, me, us, we must act. We can't give up. We can't just sit in a corner. That's not how life works. Karmanyevadikaraste, ma phaleshu kadachana. Not the what the problem is, ma phaleshu kadachana. What you don't have the right to, what you don't have control over, is the fruits of the action. The phalam, the fruits of the action. We don't. It goes back to expectation. Right? And it's just so tough when you have kids, right? You have kids that they say, I studied so hard for this test. I got the best grade. I even helped my friend, and she got a better grade than me. Karma doesn't work, Mom. Okay, good. We can laugh at that. That's good. Because that means that somewhere in our mind, we know we can't expect the same thing. There's a Tamil movie. Okay, I'll just share it. But he says, I do puja 3 times a day. I take a bath 5 times a day. I'm a huge bhakta of Bhagwan. And he doesn't give me darshan. You're an atheist. How does he give you darshan? This person asks the hero of the movie. Why? What we do adds to our karma. Are we going to say, okay, I did this karma at 8 a.m. Before 8 p.m., Bhagwan, you give me the result. That's your deadline. We can't. That doesn't mean we stop trying. And if we live long enough, we can see the seasons of life, right? Some of us see it early, some of us see it late, but we will see the seasons. Things are never the same. That is one absolute that we can say. Change is permanent. So, even in our karma, even in our desires, we must try every day. We must try to turn towards God every day. We won't be perfect, and we have no right to the results. Now, delayed gratification requires intellectual and mental maturity, right? I don't know if you've seen the marshmallow experiment. There's a very famous experiment with children, and it's an indicator of success. I'll give you 1 marshmallow now. If you wait and don't eat that marshmallow, I'll give you another one when I come back. The kids who were able to wait got the 2nd marshmallow and were proven to be more successful later in life. See, our shastras, they're not trying to trick us. They're not trying to put some crutch for us, hocus pocus, nothing. Delayed gratification is a skill. We live long enough, Bhagwan has a plan. We do our karma, we dedicate to him, and I had to live it to believe it and have faith is not the word, shraddha in it. But if you just take a little bit time every day, look back on your life. Things that happened, things that didn't happen, results. And what did you want at that time? Bhagwan puts us in the right place at the right time. If we need to make a change, Bhagwan gives us the strength to do that, the people around us to encourage us, and the support. You just have to do this. If you're doing this, if you're doing this, if you're doing this, it's tough. Surrender, right? So we'll stop here. We'll continue with the same verse. How do you reduce desires? And why do I just keep having them? Can you just tell me, is there like, there's genetic switches, right? On and off switch in genetics. Can I just, engineer myself or my child? Eugenics. How do we deal with these kamya karmas? We'll look at that. Not next week, the week after. So we'll end with Purnamada. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.